they telling kids to color inside the lines, bro? Like, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why you gotta color inside the lines? Like, why can't you color outside of them a little bit? I'm Lou.
I'm Jay.
And we're the Super Poor Kids. We learned how to paint on clothing before we even touched the canvas. At Mesquite, the company that we worked for, it was a company that hired artists to hand paint clothing. And then they would send it to rappers and all of this good stuff. So before we even knew that was a possibility, we would go to the stores and buy that clothes because it's like, oh, there's art and there's clothes, there's art and there's fashion, like, why not? Just painting on clothing kind of was our thing. Got to high school, started painting on boots and on sneakers, on book bag. And then we got to college. And then from there, it went from, all right, just doing minor piecework to organizations contacting us to, hey, could you paint on my letters or paint a fraternity hoodie or sorority sweatshirt for us? We started a clothing brand called Sweet Tooth Specialties. And again, this was all on campus. But I think a big part of that was also like, let's do this the right way. Let's not just be Lou and Jay, the artists. Let's create, you know what I mean, a persona. Yeah, let's create a persona, let's tell a story. That's where the Super Poor Kids came from. There's a lot of ties to where we grew up, Camden City. Growing up in Camden, like we were all the Super Poor Kids. And then for my brother and I was like, man, let's lean into it. Who we are today is because of where we came from and the things that we saw.
Honestly, if we would have never been from Camden, we probably would have never been artists.
So as much as we are the same, we're very different as well. I think it's a beautiful disaster. The fact that there's two of us kind of lends some balance to a lot of the things that we do. I'm very wild, like with the art. He would call it sloppy. I'm very just like free when I'm creating.
Too, but yeah. I'm more like meticulous. I'm more like neater.
We complement each other well. It makes for great art. And again, it also keeps us grounded.
It was like just like a call out to like New Jersey artists, and they saying that they was having Hispanic Heritage Night. So we submitted our stuff.
I'm gonna pat you on the back. You can pat me in the back too, because this would work too. Cool. I think that our portfolio is really well. On top of that, our story, both of us are 100% Boricua, we're 100% Puerto Rican, but we don't speak a lick of Spanish. We grew up in a very Puerto Rican household, so like we still was very in it. We just couldn't speak it, and because of that, growing up, we resented a lot of like the culture. And it was never that we didn't want to be Hispanic, we never wanted to be Puerto Rican or wanted to be something else. The project came around and it was time for us to tell our story. And as we gotten older, we've grown to appreciate our culture more. The project asked us, why do you think you deserve to be the Hispanics to represent Hispanics, all of Hispanics for Hispanic Heritage Month? And it was like, yo, there's a whole generation, there's a whole group of kids who are very in the culture without being in the culture. We want to represent all Hispanics, but we especially want to represent the Hispanics who don't feel like we're good enough to be in those circles as well. And the work we've been doing for all these years kind of just like came together. They reached out to us and the rest is history. The SPK brand isn't just art, it's very much fashion based. It's very
versatile.
Not only are we artists, I guess we're kind of like entrenched into the fashion world. And again, that's where our roots started, painting on t-shirts.